What's up, everybody? Give me just a sec here, and we'll get started with the video. Alright, so today, let me find my deal here. We're going over Jacko. Alright, so it took me a lot of work to get my somewhat decent build going. I'm not finished. I am running her artifact on her, and as you can see, it's only enhancement 2. I need to get 3 more. If this is maxed, I think it's really good for her. You can use Portrait of the Saviors. That's really good. You just have to keep in mind that when you use Portrait of the Saviors, that it's got to be 50% or less health on an opponent. And, I mean, it's great, but at the same time, if your opponent's not at 50% or less, you're not getting that extra damage. Wow. This here is guaranteed in that case. So, yeah. Anyway, let's move on. So, speed and pin set seems to be like the greatest thing for her. It's really good. There is some other builds I wanted to mess with, but I don't really have the gear for it, so I will mention them as soon as we're done. So, my attack should be a whole lot higher. I may get some imprints. Obviously, you'd want to switch her imprint concentration over if you do get them. That way, you're getting more attack out of that. I think that would be most beneficial. So your attack hopefully will end up somewhere usually over 3k, hopefully about 4k, depending on your gear and your stats and whatnot. Critical hit chance, we got that 100%. Critical hit damage is looking real good, especially if you put her with somebody who's going to raise that. You do have options like Illunav here, and then you've got Flan, of course. So an extra 50%, boom, max critical hit damage, going to be killing it. My effectiveness is terrible, though, for this build. So, it's utilizing her as a damage unit, but it's not going to be utilizing the whole stun thing. But, if you look at that, increase effect chance to 100%. So, if you bring somebody who's got the soul artifact, can't think of the name of it right off the bat, then you will be able to use that. So, do you really need a 30% chance to stun for one turn with effectiveness, or do you just need to bring some souls with somebody, some mage, and just soul burn and boom, try to stun? So, with that out of the way, I do need to finish skill enhancing these two, so her CP will be higher by the time I'm finished. When it comes to this, I mean, it's cool. I've seen it in action, but like I said, that really works with the target being stunned. But it says after an ally attacks when the target is stunned, and increases the combat readiness of all allies. It doesn't say how the target had to be stunned. So as long as you stun the target, this should take effect, period. Doesn't have to be by her. At least as far as I'm reading, anyway. So, on to her S3. Grants an extra turn, which is amazing. But, notice that the grants the extra turn thing is kind of like Luna's. You must defeat the enemy, and then you get the extra turn. Penetrates the target's defense by 50%. When the target has a debuff, damage dealt increases. So, debuffing, obviously, that's just what we do anyway. We debuff the units, PvP, PvE, doesn't matter. So, enough of all that. Let's just actually look at some of the gear stats here. My speed is to 11. Her health is really low, so that's something to keep in mind. Trying to build her, whether it's effectiveness, or if you go the route I said and just soul burn or whatever, you're going to not have the greatest HP if you're going to have speed, attack, and critical hit chance and critical hit damage. So, pin set, this rolled out pretty good. As far as the attack and the critical hit damage, that really helped out. Speed was decent. This piece is pretty decent, actually. I'll have to, use some mod gems here and there for little percents. Critical hit chance, attack, like I said, attack percent and attack, just all that's really good. Critical hit chance, critical hit damage, speed. That's what most of these pieces are. And then, of course, they have been reforged to 90. That's a really good piece. Critical hit damage and then critical hit chance. Like, there may not be much else going on that piece, but there really doesn't need to be, because that's where I'm making up a lot of my stats. That's a decent piece. We got our hit chance and we got our speed. I'll probably move that effect resistance to either a flat attack, or I may try to put a... Nah, I just went blank. Flat attack or whatever. Effectiveness, thank you. Okay. And then our boots, these are amazing. These are amazing only because it says critical hit damage 37%. Other than that, everything else is pretty much junk on there. But it did help out with the health, so that works out. The other thing I wanted to note real quick, I wanted to mess with an attack set with like a pin set. I think that would be interesting. It'd really boost her attack up a lot, and if you get the stats right, like if you had some really good speed rolls on some of them to go with all the other stuff, it could be really good. The only other thing that I think might be really good, and it could become meta breaking, whatever for her, maybe, I don't know, I haven't got a chance to really, try it out because I don't have the gear, but I think a rage set with a pin set would be ridiculous because of how that works. So anybody who's out there, if you've got some awesome rage set gear, and pin set, slap that stuff together, put it on her, and see what you can come up with, and you may have a crazy Jack Arrow, like Trick or Treat, and then some. You know what I'm saying? So just keep in mind though, you're gonna need some speed, unless you're just using pushers and etc. And then you can skip all that. It just depends how you're gonna use it. But that's really all I have today. Once I get everything done with her, I may just throw up a video where it's just me killing something with her to show some damage. Anyway, that's all I got. Let me know what y'all are doing with her. Let me know what you think about her. Leave some comments down below. And we'll see you in the next video. Take care.